Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Aaron. I know I look kind of funny here. I have doing some red light therapy. It's about 12:30 a.m. If you've been following these videos, you know I just rant on how I'm feeling, protocols I've been using to try to get my health back, things about spirituality, how to deal with chronic illness, basically how to survive when it feels like your life is collapsing. And today, and just kind of right now, I want to talk about, you know, I see so many people, basically everybody, but I'm going to focus on the people who are like, who claim to be spiritual coaches, spiritual, and fucking enlightened humans on Instagram. And what I see from everybody, including these people, is that everybody is relying and leaning upon some aspect of their personality in order to feel like they have some confidence, some self-esteem, and some solidity. So let me describe what I mean. So, and this happens automatically. So many people are relying, imagine you have a leg or you have pillars that you kind of base your identity off of. They're relying on, say, their physical health. So if you are very, very healthy, you have a lot of energy, you're very mentally clear, you have a lot of mental clarity, and you're just healthy, you're going to naturally and kind of unconsciously begin to form and base your identity on that fact. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it'll eventually fall away, right? And so if you're very healthy, you're going to base your identity, every aspect of your identity, your personality, or how you relate to others, how you relate to yourself, your goals, how consistent you are with being consistent in, say, a job or a business or relationally or dating. Everything's going to be kind of based upon these fundamentals. So I am healthy. I have lots of energy. I have a very high IQ. I'm very smart. I'm very reliable. I'm very dependent. People can rely on me. So going back to what I see on, and I'm just checking the time here, what I see most people do, if we're just talking about Instagram or just people online, is they don't understand that showing what's the word I'm looking for? How not contraindicated, but how bizarre it is to be like, look how spiritually adept, and look at all the work I've done on myself, and here's a picture of me being really healthy and being outside. And I'm thinking to myself, and many of you feel the exact same way because you guys have been dealing with some spiritual crises, physical illness, is that, man, they don't even realize that when their health, when their mind, when their neurology, when they start getting body pain, when they start feeling crappy, and it is a when, it's not really an if, but it may happen the last month of their life. But when they begin to decline in a physical and mental way, and when their reality literally begins to decline, like, good luck, because you're screwed. And I see people, and I'm just thinking, like, you guys are screwed. And I mean that with a little bit of spite and a little bit of frustration. And I admit that because I like to admit kind of everything that's going on. When I see people who say have built a giant brand or image or business or following based upon certain characteristics and parts of their personality that I know from experience you can have, and then the next day or the next month or the next year, they can be slowly or quickly ripped from you and they are not yours. So yes, if you're listening to this and you are sensing some unfairness of the universe that I feel has been dealt upon me, frustration about where my life is going, a little bit of jealousy and anger on people who have been consistent enough to really build something in their life, to really have built, whether it's an income source, a job, career, relationship, purpose, that's true. So you don't have to, I'm not denying the fact that I'm not coming from a totally pure and spiritual place, or whatever the hell you want to call it, which I think is a bunch of BS. So, really we're all just waiting for, if you haven't already dealt with a lot of illness or a lot of issues, we're just waiting for that time to happen. And that sounds pretty sad and pretty unfortunate, but that's just the nature of the game. I mean, really, unless insane breakthroughs happen in the next 10, 20, 30 years, whatever, where we eradicate everything, which I don't think will ever happen unless we completely upload ourselves and we escape our body. I feel like our body, we're never going to figure out our bodies. When it's working well, it's working well. When it's not, and no doctors can help, you realize that we don't know anything. We really are just guessing. So, everyone is really waiting, or kind of, there's like a ticking clock, not only to our death, but also to our decline. Many of you who are younger, maybe like myself, or 40s, 50s, and 60s, have been going through what is inevitable for most people. We've just been set back with these things at an earlier age than most. So, like, my dad passed away this June with a pretty short, about a year, I believe, from diagnosis, about 9 months, from ALS. And, watching that insanely quick decline was very, there was a lot to that. That's a whole other video, but living with him as he declined was very, very hard to watch. And obviously really hard for him. No doubt about that. So, one sec. Yeah, so, when I see people on Instagram or whatnot, or Facebook, or, it kind of makes me laugh, because, sorry for the light, guys. This is the worst video, I think, in the history of YouTube. No one's having bright red light shining out their camera. What not to do when making a video? Yeah, I mean, they're really just basing their entire life on these things that will be taken away from them, and people don't even know they're doing it, because unless you've experienced something, you can mentally project and see and feel into, ooh, that would be really hard. For example, I'm never going to know what it's like to to have been, say, Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust concentration camp survivor, death camp survivor. I'm never going to know. If you have really good empathy, and you could really get into other people's worlds, and you can read all of their books, and read their experiences, you can get a sense, but I'll never know. And people who are living their life without any limitation, or with very minor limitation, or have never had a big wrench thrown into their physical, mental life that prevents them from being consistent or building anything or whatever. It's like a ticking time bomb, and you realize how fragile these other people's kind of livelihoods are. You realize how fragile that, at any moment that their entire life and their entire online image, if I wanted to focus on that, will just be taken away. It's just not theirs. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say, guys. Anyway, I'll just end the video there. It's just a thought, and again, like there is still massive frustration on my end, and no need to shy away from that. And if you're going through physical crap, you are most likely really frustrated too. Frustrated with a capital F and a capital U in there. Capital F, lowercase r, capital U. And that's okay. And in other of my videos, I think I've talked about how all emotions, all feelings, and all thoughts are appropriate. How there is nothing that should be denied, nothing that should be off limits, nothing that is, in my opinion, taboo or not okay to feel, to think, to express to somebody who maybe if it's to a person, maybe they're a therapist or someone who's really open to hearing things without judgment, which can be very hard to find people like that. And obviously, acting out everything in your head is not appropriate, is not probably the best move. But in terms of going through the throes, THROES, the throes of existence and the depth of suffering and confusion and chaos, that's all okay, guys. And, you know, if you're watching this and you don't have anybody to reach out and talk to, or if you know somebody who's going through a lot of hell and you know, you don't have somebody who can give you advice, but also is just a really great listener and someone who can understand, you know. Not many people are good at just shutting up and understanding. For one, a lot of people are just really bad listeners. They just have really bad listening skills, and they always want to talk, and they always want to be heard. But also, just the fact that a lot of people get triggered. Like, if I were to tell a lot of people what I'm experiencing or what I'm feeling or what's going through my brain, most people on this planet, even very well-intentioned, has nothing to do with their intention, they would feel concerned or worried or be like, oh my God, like, that's horrible. How are you okay? How can you think like that? Let's help you. Like, you need to talk to a therapist. They wouldn't be able just to sit there, listen, and have the capacity to allow me to say anything, and anything with a capital A, anything, allow me to express myself, anything, whether that's tears or screaming or rage or anything in between, sadness, despair, hopelessness, the full range, right? So anyway, reach out to me if you're stuck or you need somebody to talk to. And while I continue to not have any success with what I'm doing, still, I've just been trying different things. Been drinking deuterium depleted water. Again, I may make a video about it, but don't really feel like making videos about protocols, just because nothing's helped me ever. So anyway, guys, that's it. All right, cheers. Talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.